And so, Obito dies. This entire chapter pretty much was there to make us feel bad for Obito's death. Now, I'm gonna be honest here. You all know my standpoint on Obito. You know how I personally feel about him. But with this chapter, honestly, it was sad when you saw that entire scene with Obito passing on and you saw Rin grabbing his hand and him moving forward. That was a very impactful scene, I think, in this chapter. Honestly, even though I hate Obito, I want to be honest, I can't stand his character. I personally believe that this chapter did him justice. It did. Not just because he's finally out of the series, but because, as a character standpoint and all that, for what he's been through and at the exact same time, for what he's accomplished. I mean, let's look at his, deeds he's accomplished through his life, and then the point where he was at now when he died. I mean, if you look at Obito's character, okay, when we first met him, we found out this was a character that killed Naruto's mother and father. Pretty much, he started the Great Ninja War. I mean, this is the character that manipulated pain. He was kind of the cause of Jiraiya's death. I mean, there was a lot of different circumstances behind Obito. I mean, even though Madara was manipulating Obito, Obito technically started all this to begin with for even Madara to be alive to that point after him. So, if you think about this, Obito has accomplished a lot in his career of being in this series. And then seeing his character up to the point of this Great Ninja War, how a lot of people started to detest him since he was taught no jutsu, and then he should have been dead 10 times over, which I can't deny that. But with this chapter, him just, taking one for the team, dying, having his speech, getting to say what he wants to say, and you see him slowly deteriorating in the chapter. I think that entire part was probably the saddest thing about this chapter, because you have Naruto trying to, heal Obito. You see him putting his hand on him, trying to heal him and all that, and then all of a sudden you see, him still breaking apart. At first, I thought like, oh my god, Naruto is going to keep him alive. That's exactly what I thought. But it didn't happen. You saw Obito slowly crumbling, cracks appearing all over him, you see him just turning to ash, and it was kind of saddening. As you slowly saw panel by panel as Obito talked, you saw how the deterioration of his body was getting worse and worse until his hand started falling off, and that symbolism between the hand and Rin, when he used to hold Rin's hand, it was a really sad moment. I do have to agree. As a person, it definitely made me feel bad, and I can definitely say I feel sad for it. Now, I don't personally believe this is the saddest death in the series, and I'm not probably going to shed a tear for Obito's death. But I do feel upset, and I feel the way he died, I think, finally puts the final page on his character. I mean, I personally don't believe Obito should have any more points in being in this series. He finally did the final thing he wanted to do. He saved Kakashi, he saved Naruto, he saved the entire world pretty much in this act for what he did. And it caused Sasuke to be able to become the next decoy against Kaguya. So, I personally believe at this moment, you could say that Obito, as a character, kind of redeemed himself, but I mean, of course there's going to be a lot of people that will hate him. And honestly, I still have some form of hatred towards his character, but for what he did, I kind of feel upset. So, I'm happy. I'm happy that, this finally ends the final page on him, and I don't believe he should ever be brought back. I'm being honest. Obito should never be fucking brought back. Edo Tensei better not bring him back, because he finally got what he wanted. He's with Rin. He's in the afterlife. And I think that moment right there, that entire moment, the last couple panels of this chapter, when you see him talking with Rin, and Rin says she was waiting on him and all that, and he says, he took the wrong path and all that, how he was just off the path for a little bit, that was very sad, too. So, honestly, I'm actually satisfied with this Naruto chapter. I mean, a lot of people will complain. I could see it happening. A lot of people will say that this chapter was useless and all that. But it needed to be here to satisfy, anyone that was a fan of Obito's character at the exact same time to write his death well. Personally, from my honest opinion, I believe that Obito's death was handled a lot better than Neji's death. Honestly, not to piss on any Neji fanboys, but I mean, the way Obito's death was done and handled and the writing in it, it was a lot better than Neji's death that didn't have much dialogue at all. Yes, Neji had a lot more impact, but I mean, if you look at the terms of writing and stuff, it seems like Obito had a lot more writing on his death than Neji did, which is kind of upsetting if you think about it, because I was a big Neji fan, but I guess we can't change that. It's already been written, so, I mean, we can't change the things that have already been done, but overall, I'd say this chapter was good. It was a good chapter. I mean, I don't have much complaints. I mean, it needed to be here. It really needed to happen like this. If they would have, went over Obito's death in like a page or two, I would have been really pissed. I'd probably been ranting on Obito's character. And so I can give Kishimoto that. I compliment him on, at the very least, trying to write Obito as a good guy, and at the same time trying to make his death have more meaning. Now, I want to talk about something else, okay? So, in this chapter, we see that Kaguya is trying to use her chakra, and she's running out. You see, like, her, bone spikes on the back of her back, deteriorating and falling off. And then you have, Black Zet's like, oh, we need to go to the Genesis dimension, all that. And so, most likely, the main cause of Kaguya's defeat might be because she runs out of chakra. That's exactly what I think is going to happen, since the way it's going. Kaguya's had, limited chakra recently, as we can see in these past couple chapters, and so I feel like she's going to run out of chakra before she ever gets defeated. I mean, that might be the entire cause of her defeat. We don't know. Oh, yes, I want to bring up one interesting key foreshadowing element in this chapter. Now, I don't know if it's me being worried. I don't know if it's because I recently read that news article of the new Naruto movie, The Last, coming out. But it's very strange the way Obito stated something specifically in this chapter that kind of related with the name of the new Naruto movie. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm about to let you know. Okay, so on the movie in the news article, supposedly the next movie is going to be the new era. The new era of Naruto pretty much is Naruto when he's older. Now, when we know this, okay, we know now it says new era on it. What did Obito say in this specific chapter? Kakashi, you will lead the new era. You see what I mean? That it pretty much kind of spoiled saying that Kakashi is going to live through this fight. But at the exact same time, it seems to me like the more and more we get information about this movie and this new era, the more I feel like Naruto won't come to an end. Like it's going to go into part 3. Personally, I don't want that to happen. I personally don't want Naruto Part 3 to happen. It's already at that point to where it just needs to end. I mean, I guess, it can continue going on because there's a lot more story to tell, but I mean, I personally don't believe from my standpoint Naruto should go into a Part 3. Naruto should become Hokage, he should, or become the ruler of the entire world, I don't know, and just, that's it. That's honestly how I feel. So, anyways, everybody, tell me your thoughts about this chapter, Naruto. Did you have, a little bit of a pain in your heart when you saw Obito die? Be honest. Honestly, be honest. I mean, we could hate on Obito all day. We could look at all the wrongs he's caused and the different things he's done in the past, this arc. But, I mean, let's look at this chapter. Truthfully, did you feel any sadness towards his death? What'd you feel about that end in the last couple pages when you saw him cross over into the afterlife? Let me know in the comments below. I love all of you so much, and you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.